Yeah.
Welcome to the Awakening podcast, where we have truth tellers and not whistleblowers, where we have facts and not conspiracy theories, the podcast with solutions. This week, I've got my good friend back who was on episode number 10. Please welcome Hartmut Schumacher.
Hello, Roy. My pleasure of being again here on your podcast and the Awakening podcast. And it's a real pleasure and a real honor to be here again. Thank you so much.
No problem. And like we're keeping in contact all the time, and you're based in Germany, so you might let people know what's happening there because the rest of the Europe tend to follow.
Well, many things have happened here. For example, maybe you have recognized that at the weekend there was a huge demonstration in Leipzig, and maybe 70, 80,000 people were there. Officially only with 10 or 20,000 again. And it's very interesting because they were completely peaceful, the demonstrators. And the police, they worked also very professional this time. But the interesting thing was that 50 people of the Antifa were integrated in this demonstration. And they have they have damaged a bus. They have started really revolt, hit the police, and it was some tough scenes. And there was a conflict between the peaceful demonstrators and the Antifa. And in the mainstream media, you can only see that idiots and very aggressive demonstration was going on, and that this demonstration, it was very interesting. They had, after 2.5 hours, they stopped the demonstration because the police said they haven't accept the measurements, and the demonstrators haven't wear the mask, and for this reason we stopped this thing. And the demonstrators didn't go. And then many people wanted to go back, but the problem was they couldn't go because they were circled by police and also by Antifa. And then they started to move the way they wanted to go. And then the police stopped them, and then they wanted to go back, but they couldn't go back. And then they went completely through the city of Leipzig. And this was the atmosphere of 1989. It was really brilliant because it was something which was coming out of the people. Yeah, and the spirit was there, and the people could feel it, and they hold each other by the hand, and they walked and got the space in order to go through Leipzig. But the reaction now is very interesting. The demonstration is they are spreaders. Yeah, it's not possible what they did. The policeman was attacked. The police president was attacked by politicians without understanding the situation. That the Antifa was involved, no one knows it. It's not told in the media. And now the politician think about deleting the right in Germany for demonstrations. And this is the situation is on the 18th of November. They want to implement a new infection protection law, or they want to renew it. And in this case, they also want to get access to the flats without court. We have this vaccination right now where they say, wow, we got the breakthrough, which has nanoparticles in it. Yeah. So it's quite dangerous, in my opinion. As long as may I say an opinion. And they want to start the vaccinations in January. And this is the army is already organizing the vaccination camps. Doctors are already asked whether they are willing to do the vaccination in vaccination camps, and so the situation gets closer to this forced vaccination, and everyone said there is no forced vaccination, yeah. But they told also in the German mainstream media that the tests in Slovakia are for free, yeah. So and it's nothing for free, because if you don't make the test, or if you don't pass the PCR test in Slovakia, you have to go to quarantine. You don't get any payment for the time where you're in the quarantine. You cannot go to the job. You cannot go shopping. You are completely isolated.
And what I
And
find
this will also
strange
happen
is
here.
that they're telling us it's a 90% success rate, yet they're trying to develop the flu vaccine for 90 years, and that's only got a 40% success rate. And after 7 months, they can now all of a sudden give us a so-called 90% success rate on this.
The interesting thing is, what the most people forget is that normally a vaccination, and this was also said by Merkel, normally it takes 10 years in order to establish a vaccination, and a vaccination is normally tested at animals. But if I remember it correctly, Mr. John F. Kennedy Jr. had a video, and in this video he showed that these kind of vaccinations were tested at animals, and if these animals came in contact with natural viruses, they got very sick and died. And this is the called rush, or for example, the autoimmune illnesses. If the body doesn't know how to react, because on the one hand, for example, in the vaccination, there's an artificial virus, and then the body is also attacked by a natural virus. And in that moment, the immune system doesn't know how to work. And this is called, I think, a rush. I hope this is the right pronunciation. And this is something what people don't have in mind. And it's the number in Germany are increasing. So I think, and other people think, that 25% of the people in Germany are awake. This is a lot. Yeah.
Yes,
And if, for example, the restrictions, for example, many people accept the conditions because of the restriction and the high penalties. But I think if you calculate these people as well, so we talk about maybe 30 to 40%. Yeah, but 25%. These are 20 million people. This is a lot. Yeah. And so they have to be very fast, because now is the spirit to rise against the government. Yeah? And they want to. There are already politicians who start to force, or to start to make it comfortable. For example, to implement the app, the control app by the healthcare, shall be forced on the mobile phone. The Green Party wants that a demonstration, or for example, corona virus conspiracy people, this shall be a political crime. Yeah, it's We had Franz Josef Strauss. He was this, from the Christian Social Union, and he was the president of Bavaria, of the governor of Bavaria in the 80s. And during the 80s, he said the Green Party is the melon party. You know a melon, right?
Mm.
Outside green, inside red. And he said this in the 80s. And it's insane. It is like this. Yeah. And the situation is, yeah, as I said, getting worse because they want to push the infection protection law, and where the restrictions get more and more stronger. And it's like the wall in the 60s. Yeah, we never will build a wall during Germany, and it's the same with the vaccination. There will be never a forced vaccination. It's no one believes, from the awakened people, no one believes it. But also the minister here of Bavaria, he said that they want to take a deep look on the Querdenken. Querdenken is the organization of the demonstration, and they think between the words, I get the impression that they want to forbid this kind of movement right now. Yeah, because they are with their back at the wall. They know it. Yeah.
And you mentioned about the nano inside in the injections. Is that being shown in a lot of stuff being published at the moment? I mean, I know we don't see it on the mainstream. Nobody's aware of that, but you've come across that in a few sources, yeah.
Yes, it's and the problem is what the most people don't understand, or what is that a nanoparticle or a messenger RNA vaccination. This is a vaccination which is, oh, what's the word in English? 1 moment, I have to take a look. Sorry. The problem is you don't need injection for it. Yeah. If you have a messenger RNA vaccination, you only need a mucous membrane in order to get vaccinated. Yeah. And this means every kind of mucous membrane is useful for doing the vaccination. And so you can do it nasal, yeah, nasally, nasal.
Nasal,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Nasal, yeah. And so there is the possibility that the PCR test itself can also be, on the one hand, a test, and on the other side, it can be a vaccination. There is the potential for it because it goes directly to the mucous membrane, and an mRNA vaccination means also that the nanoparticles are transported by the lipid syndrome in the cell directly. I told it in our last interview. There are 3 kinds of vaccination, and I want to repeat it again. The classical vaccination, for example, if you have a flu virus, you inject the flu virus in the body, and then the immune system understands that there's a flu virus, and it starts to attack the flu virus. Then this is the classical one. Then there is the second one, which is in development. For example, Ebola virus. The Ebola virus is or strains of the Ebola virus are put in a flu virus, and then this kind of combination is injected in the body, and the body can accept or can directly analyze the flu virus. And by attacking the flu virus, they understand that there is another virus, and they can learn to attack this virus again as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that so the idea is that someone is vaccinated against Ebola virus without getting sick. But in the case of an mRNA virus or vaccination, it is the DNA particles are put in a lipid syndrome, and this is a very small. This is a nanoparticle, like a suitcase, and this can't be attacked by the immune system because the immune system cannot analyze this this virus because it's in a suitcase, and this can go in the cells directly. And when it's in the cell directly, then the suitcase open, which is a lipid nanoparticle, and then it will change the RNA. Yeah, and this is no one has tested such a thing before. Yeah, so we are what's the word? Genome pig?
Guinea pigs, yes, exactly.
Guinea pigs, yes.
Yeah.
We are
And
guinea pigs.
yeah, there's thousands of doctors coming out, kind of showing how everything is a fraud. Even some of the German, especially some of the German guys. One of them that was arrested in the UK.
Yes, Heiko. Yeah, I know him. Yes, but the situation is we have here the foundation of doctors of medicine in Germany. And we have also these foundations in several cities. And the cities ask for telling them which doctor supports the conspiracy theory. So they will get a letter, and maybe they have to pay penalties of 10,000 euros. So there is no discussion. No one wants the discussion. Yeah, and for example, 1 week ago, or on the first, let's say 10 days ago, we had here the president of the foundation of the middle class economy in Germany, and Mr. Mario Ohofen. And Mr. Mario Ohofen, he said in May 2020 that there is the huge danger of the coronavirus that the Chinese company will overtake the middle class employers companies in Germany by the coronavirus. And he has issued 2 articles later, I think in June and another month later, and he died on the 1st November 2020 by a car accident. Yeah, he died in a car accident. And okay, maybe it's an accident, a real accident. But then I made something very interesting. I took a look at the car, what he drove, and this was a Bentley Flying Spur W12 cylinders. And if you see the frame, of course, the car has no doors anymore. Yeah, because the fire workers they have put the doors away. Yeah, but you can see that the airbags worked. You can see that the seat is on the right place. There is no okay, the front screen is damaged because they have put some work tools, some tools through this window, so it's damaged, but there's no blood. Yeah, so if this man wear a belt, it's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we hear that all over the world. People that are actually, whistleblowers, they have accidents or they commit suicide, and it's kind of well known. And unfortunately, the bad boys are silencing the ones that are trying to wake up a few people.
Yeah, but this is very interesting how it looks like is at the moment. Yeah, and this is this goes in a very during the time of 1933 and 1945, no one had the right to enter your flat without approval from the court. Yeah, and this is now possible, or this will be possible if they accept the and if they accept the if the law and infection protection law will be accepted. Yeah.
Mm.
And this is it's yeah. And as I said, the Green Party wants the corona resistance shall become a political crime. This is really insane. Yeah. So
And there was another thing as well, because I remember seeing that you had sent me the one on the PCR test that the guy had analyzed what was actually on the swab when he, I
yeah,
don't know,
he was the only guy who did this, and for this reason this was Fakten, Frieden, Freiheit, which is translated fact, peace, and freedom. He is the host of this podcast. And he said that he has examined it with a doctor, but he will never mention the name of the doctor. And he said that they had put the test in a centrifuge, and then they have examined. Then under a microscope they have examined it, and they found metal pieces which had so small legs, yeah, all around. And so he said that he could find in the PCR test metal pieces, which looked very interesting, because it looked like what's the word in English? A spider.
Mm.
Yeah, and this is, and another naturopath told us that in Poland there are at the University for Medicine 120 foreign students. The 120 students, they learn in small groups, and they learn a lot of online, and all of them had to make the test. And after the test, every one of the 120 people were sick. Yeah, so this is yeah, this is what I told, that that there is a possibility that mRNA vaccination can be done nasal.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I mean, because in reality, it is influenza. And anyone I know, like there's a few people I know, including my mother, that got the flu shot a few years ago. She nearly died from it. She was never so ill. And even a young person in Poland, I think he's 27, he got extremely ill from it as well. So, for something that they're claiming is 99.99% that, people survive from so-called this COVID, why would you actually inject yourself with anything when there's a way higher chance of damaging yourself? Well, we've no choice. I know it's in Liverpool. There's something, they're in the schools now, the military, and yeah, it's not looking good there either.
You have to look only for the Rockefeller plan, which was established 2010 with the 18 levels, with the 18 steps. And then you understand that they are very far already, because the idea is they are, as you also know, it's all about the Great Reset.
Yeah.
So the Great Reset is designed by the World Economic Forum. You can go on the website of the World Economic Forum. You can look for the Great Reset. You find a very complex map, and on the complex map you see what they want to manage. Yeah, they want to manage the internet, they want to manage the drone, they want to manage the healthcare, they want to manage the governance, they want to manage the economy, they want to manage everything. Yeah, and Germany and there's the ID 2030. The ID 2030 is the digitalization of the world until 2030, and the leading country in this is Germany. And well, there are so many videos on the market or on YouTube where they say, okay, um, they only want to bring us in concentration camps, and if you sign it, then you get the vaccination, and additionally you have to accept that you have make a debt release, all your debts are gone, but at the same time you have to give all your possessions as well. So in that moment you don't own it, you don't own a t-shirt, you don't own the pants, you don't own your trousers, you don't own your shoes, nothing, and you are happy. After maybe after the concentration camp you are happy. I don't know. Yeah, but this is the problem is, as in Canada they are already starting the inquiry for these things, and I think in 1 year they have it implemented already. So we don't talk here about 2030. It seems that the time, that the date of 2030 is only a figure in order to give us the feeling, okay, we have 10 days, 10 years
10 years,
time.
yeah.
But we don't have 10 years. I think in 2 or 3 years they want to implement everything.
Exactly. And you mentioned as well about the drones. Was there drones going out in Germany as well?
At the moment, they don't talk about these at the moment. I can't see anything. Yeah. Um, at the moment, no. At the moment, I can't see that they use drones. At the moment, there is nothing about these things. What is interesting is about the Disney robot. The Disney robot has the possibility to mirror the twinkling of an eye. They have a camera, and this camera can reflect the breath frequency and the twinkling of the eye. So they are very far concerning the robots, how they work already. And we are in 2021. Yeah. And this is this is very scary, because if someone understands that they want to make this great reset, this is not the end, because the idea is to make us to hybrid. And the situation is, if we got the nanotechnology or the robots inside, they know everything about us. It's not only that they know that we can pay without touching anything. They will know our breath frequency, they will know how many times we have sex, they will know our emotions, they will know everything. Yeah, and this will be saved in an artificial intelligence, and then they can establish a copy of us, which is a robot. Yeah, and then this consciousness, the saved consciousness, can, which is in several nanorobots, can establish a figure. This is the ill version what they want to do. Yeah, and well, yeah, but let's. I see it this way. It's this is a little bit. Yeah, I see it in a specific way, because we all the people who deal with these things, we have also the feeling that this is a very satanic world. Yeah, and the problem is with the satanic world that this works very precise and on very deep levels, and the most people don't understand this. They think they are idiots. They make some rituals, okay, and they kill people, but this goes very, very deep. Yeah. For example, in normal rituals, you have, for example, many current candles. In satanic rituals, you have also many candles. Yeah. So there is not a big difference. But in order to understand what the difference is, it is the material. The candles in a normal ritual are made by beeswax. Yeah. So it is also a respect for the nourishment of the earth to the people. In the satanic ritual, the candles are made by human fat. And this makes a complete different situation. So you see the same, but it's different. And the situation, what the people do is they want to implement a morphogenetic field around the globe of being a victim, so that you don't get in the power. The victim has no power. Yeah? And this is all about the Satanism. Satanism, you get so shocked, and you get the feeling that you are completely in control of fear, and you don't have a choice. And so they know exactly what a morphogenetic field is. They know, for a morphogenetic field, for example, is if you walk over green land, and suddenly you get a feeling, oh, whoa, I don't feel very comfortable here. Something has happened here. And this is, for example, there was a battle between the Celtics and the Romans. Yeah, so 2,000 years ago, but you can feel it. And this is a morphogenetic field. Or, for example, the Pope comes to South America and starts to pray. All the people in South America look at him on the television, and then, for example, a specific computer can create by calculation a cross. So because he can feel the energy of the human beings. So this is a question of consciousness. And this kind of consciousness, the Satanic world use very precisely. And this is what they are doing the whole time. And for example, this is also the target of the mainstream media, to establish a consciousness. It doesn't matter whether whether this is a lie or not. It is important that the people believe it. That's it. Yeah, and this is also the same, for example, with the election in the U.S. Yeah, they want to establish a morphogenetic field of Joe Biden as the president, that the people believe it. Yeah, and then so that Donald Trump is already that the people start to forget Donald Trump, but it will not work like this. Not at all. Yeah. It's the contrary, because I compare the situation of Donald Trump with the situation of Abraham Lincoln, where the fronts between Democrats and Republicans was so tough that he made a non-declared war. The revolution in 1860 was a non-declared war, and in order to protect the Constitution. And this is the duty of a president. And this can happen right now also in the US. Because it's at the moment, the next 30 days, or maybe less, 28 days, are the most fragile days and most dangerous days for the US, because the front between Democrats and Republicans is very tough. There is no real negotiation. There is no target where they have the same, what they have in the same in the mind. And it's so for this reason, it can come to a clash. The BLM has already said that they want to occupy government buildings, and I think the Republicans will also never give up, or will never accept a Democrat president. So it is very, very tough. So there are very tough times in the US at the moment, and if they work with the morphogenetic field, and for example, many many presidents of other countries have already made the congratulations to Joe Biden. Yeah, so they
I've
want
seen
really
that.
to implement this idea, but Joe Biden does not get the access to the offices and to the offices of the government in order to bring the people, or in order to make the change, because they say no, it's too early. You are not official the president, so we cannot give you the access. Yeah. And
I've seen with the followers, I think it was on Instagram, because one of the guys had pointed out to me that Joe Biden had something like 7 million coming close to the election, but now it's 17, whereas Trump has something like 88. So you have a guy, and you'd probably have noticed this as well. I remember when you had Hillary against Trump, you could see just from Facebook and everything, you could see it was going to be close. But this time, everybody was for Trump. I saw about 3 people, but now that it looked like he's going to win Biden, they're coming out of the woodwork as if they're all supporting him. But prior to that, any demonstrations you saw, any where he's going around from state to state, it was full. Trump had everybody there, and you can see the fraud. I mean, I've seen a load of the videos. You can see lots of the fraudulent activities going on, but yet, by the way the media has bombarded us with, look, this is how it is, people now believe. And that's the one thing that will cause an actual civil war, because if you think your guy is a winner and then they prove that he's criminal, and that people will revolt because they believe he's won.
the situation is, if this has happened and this was a fraud, in that moment it is wait a minute, I have to look. It is a betrayal. Yeah. And then if you go to court, if they prove that this is a betrayal, in that moment someone who is standing in front of the court cannot become the president of the United States. So Trump will win this election without a competitor. Yeah. And there is software which has switched the votes from Trump to Biden. Yeah. And interesting thing is the server stands in Germany, and is owned by Pelosi and paid by Soros in Frankfurt. This I could see in one Telegram news, and the parts which were produced for this software, or the parts for the machines, are produced in China. So for example, when how the Democrats try to prove that Donald Trump has won the election because of the influence of Russia in the election, and how close it was to get Russia involved in a war. Yeah. So if China is in this involved, this would be would be crazy. Yeah. So this is so this next situation, the problem is no one will accept the situation as a loser. Yeah, the Democrats will never. If you think in deep state here, or if you think in the World Economic Forum, and you have this kind of socialist plan for the world, and you can grab this huge piece of cake called USA in order to create it in a social democratic republic. Yeah, they can grab it with their hand already. They will never accept, or will say, okay, the court has decided, let's do it. Okay, then Trump is there for 4 years. In my opinion, this is not very, let's say, it would be very unusual. This is my personal opinion. Yeah. So so the next time it can be very tough in the US.
For me,
But
I see it's a
interesting thing.
big distraction. Like everyone is distracted with this election, yet they're rolling out all the vaccines all over the world. Is it all
Yes,
orchestrated?
this is another thing. Everyone is now is working or is dealing with the election, and at the same time they bring the vaccinations in place correctly. Yeah, and many people um, don't. Well, they still believe it. Oh, we have here in Germany, we have the German lawful, gesetzlich. Wait a minute. One moment, please. Legally, the German legally accident insurance, which is a very huge institution.
Mhm.
And this institution has found out that we have laws for work and and work protection laws. Yeah. And they found out that in the work protection laws, it is only allowed to work 2 hours with the masks. And after 2 hours, you have to make a break. So you have to put the mask away for minimum 30 minutes. And if you have a job description where someone has to wear the mask for longer, then they recommend highly that there is a doctor of medicine who examine the workers who have to wear the mask because of the breath resistance by the mask. So we get officially right now concerning concerning wearing the mask and the damages, and if a mask if they wore the mask longer, if they wore the mask longer than 2 hours, in that moment, the employer has to take the responsibility for this, or the director of a school, or the teacher. It's very interesting. Yeah, this is also something what has happened last week.
Yeah, that's a very good one actually, and yeah, I wonder does that apply across the world as well? You know, it's what people investigating in their country.
Yeah, and this is, uh, but as I said, they are standing in front. The politicians stand with the back at the wall, and they are fighting back with everything they have at the moment. They wanted to make a star travel there. For example, they wanted there is a city in Germany which is called Schwerin, and they wanted to drive with the cars from the streets like a star to the city yesterday or 2 days ago, and the police stopped them, and the organizers they put the organizers of this demonstration in the police cars and drove them to the border. It's really insane, and what the people are doing here, and they want to say that we get hard times, and as I said, they want to destroy by law the right for demonstrations and the right for and the movement, the organization, because they say it goes deeper. It's not only against the coronavirus, it's against maybe the government. Yeah, but the situation is in the movement, everything is based on facts, and the government has nothing on facts. Yeah. And they try it, but I think the people wake up in Germany, and we have real good possibilities. Yeah, I think if it comes to the forced vaccination, this will be too much. This is my opinion. This will be too much. I saw today the pictures in Poland, and in Poland the people are also not very calm and friendly anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I was glad to see that. I mean, it all started because of kind of the abortion issue that the government were bringing in, but they got on board everything now, and there's big demonstrations in all cities, which is good because sometimes it only goes to the capital. When you see it happening in even the smaller cities, that's a good sign.
Yes, that's a very good sign, and I think this is what I also found out. The problem is if you or if I deal the whole time with these things, then it is very overwhelming. And our friend Zahi in Australia was doing this podcast for Christians. He told me that he has someone in Melbourne, a priest in Melbourne. He said that the people get contact with God again, and this is the only way, because these governments are really satanic, in my opinion. And the only way that we can really make a difference is to get in contact with the universe or with God, in order to get in contact, to get out of the fear and to start to create. This is the only way we can do, so that we don't go in fear. This is the most important thing. And to do what we can do what we can do every day as best. Yeah. So I think this is the best we can do at the moment. And yeah, and if there's a possibility to demonstrate, okay, then the people can go on demonstration as well. Yeah. This is um, it's not so, it's yeah. If it's possible, they shall do it. But sometimes it's also not possible, because people have, for example, I know someone who has a child, um, and this child was she educated this child because she got this child by the government. It had a very bad childhood and no home, and she took it, and she cannot go to any demonstration, because if she would go to a demonstration, they would take her this child directly away. Yeah. It is also in Germany, if for example, we have here the forced vaccination for the measles. Yeah. And many doctors are issuing documents, or issue documents, so that the children don't need to get the measles. And now it's like this, that they get an appointment at the health ministry. A doctor makes the examination and the analysis again. And if this doctor says that it is possible that this child can get the measles vaccination, then there is the possibility that the doctor will get huge problems, and that the children will be taken away from the parents. And this is so it is. I don't know how these people think. Yeah, sometimes there was during the Iraq War, there was a lady. Uh, there was an American soldier. She was a lady, and she made a lot of torture in Iraq. And interesting was that this lady, she said that the responsibility was given, or the authority was given by her boss. And she didn't feel responsible for what she was doing. And this was the time in Abu Ghraib, torture and prisoners abuse. Yes. and she was and this lady was involved in this abuse in April 2004, and this was a very interesting statement. And I have the impression that this came again, and that the people who are in these kind of departments, they don't feel responsible for what they are doing.
Yeah, they hide behind the title.
Yeah, and it was 2 soldiers, Specialist Charles Garner and PFC Lindy England, were sentenced to 10 and 3 years in prison, respectively. This was and this, I hope that this will come again, that these people have to be in the prison. And what the people have also think about is, if there is a possibility, or if an official of a government official stands in front of someone and gets information about the fraud, normally he has to mention this to his boss, and this is called the Remotationspflicht. Wait a minute, this is German. Maybe it's also in English. Let's see. No, it doesn't work. In English, you don't have this word. So there is a duty for the government officials to mention it in front of his boss, that something is not right. And if he doesn't do this in Germany, then he acts as a private person. So in this moment, it is quarantine becomes, wait a minute, English, deprivation of liberty. Yeah. If someone is putting a PCR test in your body, this is minimum. This is minimum. Wait a minute, English. This is minimum assault.
Yeah.
Minimum assault. And if it comes out that or if the possibility, or if someone will prove that the PCR test is in the same way a vaccination without mentioning it, in that moment it is it will be
deception.
Homicide. And the most people don't understand this. And if you see the policemen in Germany on the demonstrations, they are 25 people. They are 25 years in average. So there are no policemen with a lot of experience anymore. These are policemen who even don't know the conditions under GDR. German Democratic Republic. He said, "What's that?" I don't know. It's a really insane situation. Yeah, and at the moment we are sliding in a situation where which is a fascist state. And if I asked my parents, how was it possible that in the year 1933 such a coup could happen in Germany, and now we are facing the same situation.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, but worldwide.
No, worldwide. Yeah, I see it in Ireland. I see it everywhere. Yes.
Yeah. And at the moment, I haven't I haven't found any country where I can feel safe.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I mean, I've got friends all over the world, Argentina, everywhere. It's not looking good everywhere. But what I can say is that definitely knowledge is power. Research, understand, because when you're lucky, you've got 25%, because I don't see it being 25%, all around. There's a lot of people still asleep, and the more that wake up, it means that there's a bigger stance, and that's the only way that we can do it. And to be honest, like, I know that each government, there's a higher level above it, but once you get the right people in one country that can make a total change, then the rest of them have to kind of wake up and realize, oh, we're in trouble here, because others will copy them. And let's hope it happens. And look, I know you're keeping your eye, on all that goes on around the world. So what you have shared today, I'm sure, has hopefully waken up another few and educated others. And look, we'll get you back in another, again, with more updates, because it's definitely needed, and we need, especially in Germany, because I think what happens in Germany tends to roll out across Europe, especially. So, listen, Hartmut, thank you very much for your knowledge. I'll put your links below on the description, how people get in contact with you, and make
Thank you.
sure that you listen to episode number 10 again, because you had a brilliant episode regarding the pharmaceutical industry.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to be here on your show again, and looking forward for next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So that's all for the Awakening Podcast. You'll find all our episodes on awakeningpodcast.org. We're on YouTube and BitChute, so you'll find all the links in the description below. Until next week, take care.